It looks like I'm about to have some really disappointing news for some, in my opinion, very unintelligent people in the games industry. Now, I will start this video off letting you know that it will contain the appropriate amount of venom for what these people are saying about me, but also to remind you that what they want is for you to fill up their timeline so they can screenshot you and say that you said this or said that. I'm going to show you several examples of these morons blatantly lying and then the evidence that they are lying about the, quote, harassment they got from their fake woke moments at the Independent Game Awards. And I want to say that if you are going to engage these people, then you should be polite and not give them any ammunition to further push a narrative that we all know to be false. So the other night, I was literally watching this event on Twitch, trying to be trying to literally relax and see what's going on in the indie games world. And the show, I'm not kidding, started out essentially tying gamers to everything that happened in the past week, the horrible incident that happened. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'll show you the actual clip in context so that you know, as I continue to provide fair use commentary over it, that I'm not kidding.
But I have always found it a little strange that the year that my community, this community, chose to give an IGF award to a game that was anti-colonialist, anti-racist, unabashedly feminist, pointedly diverse, and well, written by an Indian woman, was also the same year that our audiences were engulfed by GamerGate. And it felt at that time as though we rejected that campaign of hatred. But it's actually never felt closer to me right now. A mutated strain of that poison that made video games its testing ground has bubbled up. It fueled a monster who went to a mosque with murder in his heart. And if we don't utterly and vocally and wholly reject these people, these Nazis and fascists and white supremacists, then we are inviting them in.
Pause for applause.
If we make room for them, then there is no room for anyone else. And what we represent here tonight must stand in opposition to them. And we have to do it together. But rejecting hate is only half the battle. The other half of the battle is, in its way, much harder. It is to ask, how do we make people feel welcome?
Kick these people out because they said mean things, but also, how do we make people feel welcome? Logic.
How do we keep them safe and happy as well as whole? Last year, I became too chronically ill to work.
Not too chronically ill to fly out to an award show, though.
And I am only here, still making games, because of the understanding and the generosity of some incredible colleagues in the indie games community.
I had to cut one little word out of there in hopes that this video doesn't get suppressed, but you know what she said. Naturally, I took massive exception to this because, one, it's a video game awards show, by the way, in which we, of course, inject politics immediately into it, but also the implication that essentially gamers or the gaming culture, or particularly the culture of gamers that are evil, which is apparently everybody except the far, far, far left ideologues, is somehow a radicalization ground. It's the same ridiculous argument that morons make when they say, well, a few bad people probably watch PewDiePie. Yeah, there's 90 million subscribers. If you take a nation, that is the size of a nation, okay? And it's 90 million people. Guess what? You're going to have some bad apples in that bunch. It has nothing to do with PewDiePie. This has nothing to do with GamerGate. Day 10,965 of GamerGate for these people. It has everything to do with self-aggrandizing, with backpatting, with fake wokeness, with doing this for attention. So I pointed that out. First of all, that it's absurd to say something like that because everybody knows that. It's like saying murder is bad, pause for applause. It's self-blowing. It's putting your own farts in a jar and smelling them in a room full of people that, of course, are going to agree with you because nothing you've said even needs to be said. Imagine walking into opening up a speech with, I think that murder is not a great thing. And then you just stand there and pause and wait for the crowd to applaud. That's what this is. That's what I critiqued, but that is not, of course, what the games industry said. They said, because I made fun of it, I am, of course, a white supremacist. That's right. I bet you didn't know that. A man who's voted for Obama twice. I'm a crypto. I'm deep undercover. All right. And they say these things so then they can pretend to be victims, right? I just hosted the IGF Awards tonight. Thank you, old friends, new and who made vocal support, and F you to the cowardly little bigots who are angry that I called out your Nazi, white supremacist friends. You are nothing, and your time is over. Interesting. But again, who is really in support of that? 12 people worldwide, Meg? You're saying something that is a universal truth and acting like we should applaud you for it. And here's some interesting things. Here's some interesting things about Meg, okay? In the past 12 hours, I've been called a see you next Tuesday, a whore, fat, ugly, and stupid hundreds of times. Interesting. Okay. Well, I would assume there's probably some evidence of that, Meg, right? There's probably some evidence of that. You would think. You would think that there would be some evidence of that. And thanks to Dante here. Here's the original tweet. Here is a Twitter search for her at and the word fat. Don't see any. Last reference was May 18th. How about see you next Tuesday? Oops. Nothing here either. Only one person replying to her tweet. How about whore? Oops. No replies. Interesting. Interesting. No results found on her timeline for those words. She lied. Imagine that. Imagine that. Now, after her, they trotted out Tim from Double Fine Productions. And he opened with this.
She did a great job hosting, and I want to stand in solidarity with her and everyone who mentioned it against the terrible attacks. And I want to offer love and support to all the Muslims worldwide and in the game development community and here in this room. I want to say something that
Not only was this a pause for applause, but there was also a, come on, you know what you're supposed to be doing right now.
Just in case it's not clear that you're welcome here, I would like to say something that I hope this isn't controversial, but fuck white supremacists.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Who will do it for me? Please validate my opinions.
I think that's important, right? Yeah, great. Good. I think it's sad that racists and other hate peddlers feel safe in any space that's remotely connected to video games. And I think we all have an opportunity in our work and in our daily lives and our platforms, big and small, to make it absolutely clear that we do not tolerate any of that crap.
Again, who is? You're focusing on 0.00001% of the gaming community. And just like in the PewDiePie situation, you're talking about a group of hundreds of millions of people. Obviously, you're going to have some bad apples in there. But why do you focus on the 0.00001% of people? It's because you don't have anything interesting to say. I mean, you have no opinions that stray from the general narrative. Obviously, any significant number of people support what that guy did. Why do you feel like it needs to be said? This is about self-serving. This is about self-aggrandizing. This is about virtue signaling. And that's all I was pointing out. First of all, this is a video game awards show. Give me a break. Second of all, blaming gamers, also pathetic. Third of all, you're saying what everybody already knows. I mean, and idiots that are clapping for you, like, or. I mean, what do you want? Fire is hot. Woo, woo, woo. I mean, it's sad. And these people have very little power outside of Twitter, but they use that power on Twitter to then spread slanderous or liable statements about me. Because I made fun of this guy, I must be a white supremacist. That's right, let's take a look at their hot takes. One of the first ones I want to point out here is the creative director at Ubisoft, Quebec. Imagine the courage it takes to get up on stage and bear some fangs around complicated, brutal issues and all too often gloss over and all too likely to invite a horde of defensive critique. Well done last night, Meg. Here, I'm gonna do it too. Hey, if you haven't liked the video, here, let's see if we can play their game, okay? Ready? Murder bad. Are you liking the video right now, please? Will you please like the video? I said something that's a universal truth. And we see, here's my initial tweet to give you context. Tim Schafer, CEO of Double Fine Productions. I'd like to say something that I hope is not controversial. And then what he said. Again, subscribe to my. So they retweeted this. People retweeting this. Here we have General Nobody, Dusty Smith. Imagine being such a monstrous piece of poop that you have a problem with this statement condemning white supremacy. The quartering is one of the most popular, thank you, anti-SJWs on YouTube. See, why is that sentence in there? You know why this sentence is there? Is because they're mad that maybe some people would agree with what I'm saying. It should be about what I'm saying, not the size of my YouTube channel, but that's how these people operate. It's all about clout to them. Is everyone starting to wake up what is happening on YouTube yet? That's right. Shut it down. And because I made videos about PewDiePie, of course he gets roasted. The main point Jeremy was making is they are trying to blame gamers for harboring this, which of course it's bad, but blaming gamers is a giant reach. I mean, he's getting obviously completely roasted. And then we have people like Steve Lumpkin. Remember Steve Lumpkin? This was liked by his Guerrilla Games company, by the way. One of the likes on this, or retweets. Glad to see the YouTuber who's been harassing me has straight up been outing himself as a white supremacist because of how mad he is at Tim the Legend saying, no. See, imagine being either you, and I've said this often. You are one of two things, Steve Lumpkin. Really dumb or a liar. You can pick. Only one of these two statements can be true unless you choose them both. There are three options. Well, A, B, or both A and B. You didn't read my tweet. You didn't care to read my tweet. Obviously, anyone who has watched many of my hundreds and hundreds of videos knows that. I mean, do I need to say it out loud? Is that the infantile, are you a toddler? Do you need me to tell you what to think? Do you need me to wear a little badge on my shirt that says, I agree with you? Even if I do or don't? Do you need me to walk around with a billboard of my top 10 spiciest takes so everyone can know how I feel about everything? Here's the reality. The rest of the world doesn't care. That's why I don't spend any time preaching about my personal beliefs on my YouTube channel very often. Because I don't care about yours for the most part. We can talk about a topic. But when I'm walking down the street, I'm just going about my business, trying to live my life. I'm not going to wear a sign that says, hey, everybody, I'm agnostic. Hey, everybody. Hey, you need to know what I think about this because I need to be validated. And there are literally hundreds of other tweets where people are retweeting me for Digital Backpat saying, like, imagine having a problem with this statement. Imagine not understanding. It's like the whoosh gif, Imagine having no context about the man that I am and that my personal beliefs and projecting your own on me, apparently. To me, everybody has a right to be ignored, and they have that right too. Imagine being so upset that I'm laughing at some sweaty guy up on stage saying something everybody already agrees with at a time in which they're trying to loop GamerGate. They're trying to desperately keep GamerGate alive. It's been over for years. These people can't deal with the fact that they lost. That must be it. They still say that I was a part of it. I wasn't even making videos on this channel at that time. I was opening Magic the Gathering packs. I wasn't even around. But they are not smart. And they use the video games platform to push their ideologies. Obviously, I believe that thinking you're better than anyone else based on the pigmentation in your skin, regardless of what color it is stupid. Thinking that you're better than anyone because of your religious beliefs is stupid. Thinking that you're better than anyone for any inherent physical trait is stupid. I said it. Everybody who watches my videos already knows that. They know the man that I am. And you can get your fake woke points on Twitter, and that's basically where you've been delegated to. Your entire radical left side has been BTFO'd off of YouTube. You're gone, irrelevant. You've got your little hug box left on Twitter, and that's it. Your little independent games awards where you can all get in front of a mic in front of a couple hundred people, only a few hundred people watching the stream. I've had streams with more people than were watching your show. Maybe you shouldn't focus on current political issues. Maybe for a video game award ceremony, you should talk about video games. But that's not what these people are about. They're not about telling the truth. We've seen that. They're not about being honest. We've seen that. And they're not about conversation in good faith. Mr. Lumpkin knows that I'm not harassing him. This lady knows that everyone agrees with her. She openly lied about being called names. But people don't care. When all they care about is an ideology and the cult that they're all a part of, truth is a distant second to the narrative. Hope you enjoy growing old and sharing your studio apartments with 7 other people and a cat. Have a nice day.